Our government customer reached out to us because of our integrated system design, and they were looking for some augmentation behind the scenes of making a ruggedized battlefield controller for an unmanned ground vehicle. And they came to us and said, we want to put this Nintendo Switch style of controller in the soldiers' hands. My first exposure with a veteran was my grandfather in Patton's Third Army in the battle for the Ruhr Pocket in Germany in World War II. With the events unfolding, he knew his number was going to be up, so it was important to him to go and volunteer before his draft number came up. I said to him, as a 13-year-old would, do you have any medals or uniforms? And he says, no. He says, all I have is my honorable discharge papers, because that was a big deal to have to get a job after the war. And I said to him, why didn't you save any of this? And he says, save it for what? He says, this was just my job, and I needed to do the job well, because if I didn't, somebody else would be behind me, and now this was their problem. The purpose of an unmanned system is to provide information as well as lethal effects to our warfighters, so they are out of harm's way. When you're thinking about working in a theater of conflict, we're not thinking about sitting behind a computer in an air-conditioned office building. They're working under the stress of battle, they're working under the environmental stress, so the gear starts to look a little bit different. You're not designing for people with bare hands, you're designing for people with gloves. You think about glare effects, you think about recognizing features in the moment. Where Jaktool fits is we want to leverage existing off-the-shelf technology and put slight tweaks to it or reimagine how it is used, combined with critical interfaces, arming devices, reconnaissance, and in some cases we've actually worked on remote weapon systems that are drone-based, having the ability to develop those weapons and interfaces here. It's difficult because without direct hand experience of being in that situation, we can't represent the psychological case of the warfighter. That's why we engage and speak to them to get that feedback. But it's a very satisfying feeling when you're providing a piece of technology to them and they go, this is going to give me the advantage, this is going to get me home safe. One of the exciting early conversations with the drone controller is our government customers who are engineers just like us. The conversation really was, hey, I need X quantity in Y timeline. My answer to the customer was, I hear what you're telling me. There's a more efficient way to do this. I don't want to burn your money. And when we pulled together a system that was considerably less money and worked. And it's so important to me, going back to my grandfather, where if we go along with an outlandish idea and it dies on the vine because we didn't challenge it, the warfighter did not get the technology they needed. Somebody else has to do this again. And how much time is lost to get back to where you came from? We don't have that time to lose.